Good Wednesday to you, Tennessee Valley. It is 7:30 on the dot on January 29th. I wanted to come on and give you a little bit of an update of what you can expect for the rest of the week. Again, it's hump day. We're getting closer to the weekend. But for temperatures, really not that bad. Generally, no major cold air across the U.S. Most of the coldest stuff is across the Rockies and the highest elevations. But even Chicago above freezing, 38 New York, 36 in Buffalo, and temperatures are really starting to warm across the heartland of the country and down into the southern plains. So that's a sign of things to come for us. But locally, it's a bit on the chilly side. 30 in Cleveland, 29 in Athens, 29 in Lafayette. Of course, yesterday morning, we were well into the 20s with a little bit of freezing fog, so that's not an issue. Roads are looking good. No weather-related issues out there as you're going to be traveling to and from work, school, wherever you may be going on this Wednesday. And look at these highs. So 10 degrees above normal. Our average high, 52 this time of the year. We're going to be right at 63 in Chattanooga, 58 in Fort Payne, 59 in Athens. And if you recall, just a week ago, I know I've alluded to this multiple times, but it was so cold. It's nice to see these warmer temperatures. You can actually get outside, get caught up on some of that yard work that you've been putting off because it's been so cold. So that's good. I think a lot of people are going to be happy with the forecast over the next couple of weeks, unless you're a fan of winter weather and snow. Then you're not going to like it quite as much. But we are going to have some changes coming down the road. Going to have some rain on Friday. Really, outside of that, we're not looking at too much the way of active weather, at least over the next week or so. But here's a look at your satellite radar. So the next system is going to develop out here across Texas and Oklahoma, starting to see some of that cloud cover develop. Locally, things are still dominated by high pressure. But as this high continues to slide to the east, we're going to get that return flow, that southwesterly flow out of the Gulf of Mexico, which is going to help to warm us up moving forward. Now, we are going to see that rain move in on Friday, maybe some showers tomorrow as well, but outside of that, things are looking pretty calm across much of the country. So let's track it all out using our storm tracker. Again, this is a global model. We don't have any of the high resolution in range just yet, but this will give us a good idea of what we can expect. Today, maybe some clouds building in later. Tomorrow is going to be a cloudy day. I wouldn't expect to see a ton of sunshine. I think we'll have some showers possible during the late afternoon and early evening. Shouldn't be a big deal. Coverage is going to be relatively low. Bulk of this rain is going to come in early Friday morning. So here's a look at about 4 o'clock. So we have some of the showers moving into the Cumberland Plateau across northeast Alabama, heavier stuff across middle Tennessee. That's all going to continue moving off to the east. So about 6, 7 o'clock, this starts to move into Dunlap, Chattanooga, Fort Payne. And you can see as we zoom in a little bit closer, you got Cleveland, Fort Payne, Scottsboro, Pikeville, Dayton, all getting some decent rain by about 7 o'clock, up 75, and then by about 10:30, east to I-75, so Athens, Cleveland, Murphy, Blue Ridge, you're just kind of seeing the end of the rain. And then by lunchtime, most of this is out of here. Maybe a lingering shower trying to pop back up during the evening. It would be light if we get anything during the evening hours, but a bulk of the rain comes through, I would say, between about 5 and 10 o'clock on Friday morning. The timing may be adjusted a little bit and to add an hour here, add an hour there, but usually these come in a little bit earlier. So I wouldn't be surprised if the rain is pretty much wrapped up by about 9 o'clock across places like Chattanooga and Cleveland. So this isn't going to be a big rainmaker. In fact, I think half of an inch is going to be the general average here, but some areas could pick up an inch with lighter amounts the further south you head across Georgia. And as far as the severe weather aspect of this, there's going to be wind shear associated with this, but it's also coming in during the early morning hours, so the instability not going to be all that high. Now, ahead of this Thursday, there could be some strong to severe storms with the isolated tornado potential in Houston, parts of Louisiana and Mississippi. But notice as this moves off to the east, that severe threat stays kind of confined to the Gulf Coast, the panhandle of Florida, southeastern Alabama, and southwestern Georgia. For us, we could have a rumble of thunder, but not expecting any severe weather with this event. But it is a good note to go ahead and start making your severe plan, because for too long we'll be in March and April and early May, all the height of our spring severe weather season. Hopefully it's quiet, but that's the time frame where we really see things starting to pick up. We have the cold air clashing with the warm air, and severe weather becomes a lot more common that time of the year. So that's something that we'll keep a close eye on. It does look like we're going to enter more of an active pattern, and with the warm temperatures in place, there could be severe threats moving into the first part of February. Certainly worth monitoring. But the next big thing I want to talk to you about, of course, is the warm weather. I've been mentioning that for a while now. Last week again, which is so cold. I think everyone's glad to see this. These are high temperatures, and for one single point, which is of course here in Chattanooga. So if you live in Dalton, Cleveland, these numbers may be slightly different, but it gives us a good range. 70 by Monday. So early next week as we enter into February, and of course the first day of February is on Saturday. Groundhog Day is on Sunday. Now spring, I know we're looking to see if winter is going to last, 6 more weeks. Well, it's going to last 6 more weeks regardless, simply because the spring equinox is not until March 20th. So that's when the seasons officially change. But nonetheless, we are heading towards warmer days in the short term. So enjoy it while it lasts, because I'm sure at some point, probably the end of February, we're going to have another blast of cold air. And we can get snow all the way into March and even early April. Not saying we're going to get any more snow, but I'm not going to take it off the table just yet. But in the next 2 weeks, we're not. I can tell you that. It's going to be nice and warm. Here's a look at your mornings. I mean, even Friday morning, it's going to start in the 50s, lows in the 40s heading into next week. So it'll be chilly, but not cold. Our freezing mornings are done for now. And looking ahead to your next 6 to 10 days. So mild flow is going to lead to above average temperatures. We're going to have this zonal flow, is what we call it, coming in from the Pacific, and that usually spreads mild air across the country. We need dips in the jet stream to bring that cold air from Canada. That just doesn't look likely all the way through February 10th. Plus, we're going to have some ridging building in the southeast. And those two things together oftentimes equal, almost all the time actually, equal warmer than normal conditions. And that's what we're going to see for a better part of the country. I think if you're wanting to deal with any cold, snowy weather, you'll have to go into the Rockies and the northern tier of the country. But for the time being, above normal temperatures look pretty likely across the southern tier. But if you go to the north, and I'll delete this off so you can kind of see what I'm talking about a little bit better, colder air looking likely. So if there's going to be any winter weather, it will likely be further north, closer to the Canadian border, the northern part of the country. And in that middle, that's where you could have some decent winter storms. Chicago, Omaha, Minneapolis, Rapid City, up towards the Dakotas, and maybe even places like New England get a little bit of winter weather over the next couple of weeks. But for us, we're not looking at any winter weather threats. In fact, we can look at the temperature departure over the next, actually we'll take it from February 3rd to the 13th, because that takes us all the way through nearly Valentine's Day. Warmer than normal temperatures in the orange shades, about 4 or 5 degrees across much of the Tennessee Valley, really the southern tier of the country. Colder air right along the Pacific Northwest, Canadian border, up through the northern plains. And, that's just not a good sign if you want snow, but it's a good sign if you like warmer weather. It looks like at least through the middle of the month, we're going to stay a relatively mild snow chances. This is the European ensemble, so averaging all the runs of the European together through February 13th. So any snow chances going to stay, again, in places like New England, Maine, up through maybe even Washington. So Seattle might get a little bit of snow this go around. The Intermountain West, the Rockies, up through the northern plains, while no snow is expected in the south. So that's just the pattern we're looking at. It's going to be warmer than normal, favoring spring-like conditions for the next couple of weeks. And as we get into that first week of February, we're going to have to watch, because it's going to get a little more active. Could have, a few systems come through, maybe some severe weather. Can't rule that out yet. Not saying that we're going to see any here in the Tennessee Valley, but somewhere across the southeast, it looks pretty likely, or at least a pretty good bet, that we'll see some severe weather over the next couple of weeks. So I'll keep my eye on that. But over the next 7 days, Thursday, maybe a couple of showers. Friday, better chance of rain, mainly in the morning. And then this weekend, if you have plans, hey, things are looking good. 61 Saturday, 67 on Sunday, and the next week we could be in the lower 70s. So in the short term, things are looking awfully warm. If anything major changes, I'll let you know. But have a good day. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll do this again tomorrow.